Amitabh Ghosh, who is with us. He's a Mars scientist for NASA, playing a prominent role in various missions like the Mars Pathfinder mission and the Mars Exploration Rover. And he was also a key member of the team that identified the landing site for Curiosity. He joins us live from here in Washington, D.C. Amitabh, really great to have you with us. So American astronauts launched from American soil. Why is it important for this mission to go ahead, even in the middle of this pandemic?
So, this has been pre-decided. So let's go back to the shuttle program. NASA's shuttle program was retired in 2011. Since then, NASA has depended on Russians to ferry astronauts to the space station. So in 2014, they funded a couple of private players, which is SpaceX and Boeing, to develop a ride to the station. And now is the big day that is about to happen. So I don't think this is a very critical step. And if you, to put this in the backdrop of what NASA is headed, in 4 years, NASA is scheduled to land on the moon, go back to the moon with the Artemis program. So we have a very tight schedule, and this was long in preparation. The Crew Dragon met its testing requirements in January. So there was no reason to really, this was a very critical part of the NASA programs in human spaceflight. So we're I think NASA is very excited to go forward and for this launch.
Well, this launch is taking social distancing to a whole new level. Can you walk us through the mission, Amitabh?
So, of course, there is not going to be a live audience at Kennedy Space Center and this is a historic first because every time there's a launch, there are many people who go there. So there's limited reporters allowed. There are two astronauts going on board. The mission duration is not set. It's going to be decided at some later point of time, but it can be as long as 100 days. And so after this, there will be more flights, obviously, off the Crew Dragon, and maybe in the future, the Boeing Starliner will also come into play and deliver more rides. So NASA will again have its own American space vehicles to launch its own astronauts to the moon, to the space station, and subsequently to the moon.
And how important is this for NASA?
This is hugely important. NASA does not have launch capability. So the capability that SpaceX brings to the table and Boeing is developing for NASA is hugely capable. So the ultimate, beyond the International Space Station, NASA's objective is to go to the moon, this time to stay. So the development of reliable transportation between here and the moon and to space is very critical.
All right, Amitabh Ghosh, really appreciate you coming on to walk us through that. Thanks so much for that.
It's a pleasure.